These are the original tacked tiles that were created sometime in the mid 2000s, maybe like 2007, 2008. One of the very first things that we bought at Gen Con, and they were sold
Must
out.
have been before that, before 7 or 8, because I started playing, I think, D&D with you like 6, and you'd always had these, as far as I know.
So maybe you're old then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Might have been before
I'm trying
that.
to think.
Because the first Gen Con for me, I think, was 6 or 7.
Well, I'm trying to think. So,
I've yet to be.
Oh, it's great.
I've heard good things.
I was going to go this year and then COVID. But
it's lost a touch.
yeah. It's
The place itself or the group of people going?
Well, the
The
group
event,
of people
yeah.
going has lost everything because no one goes anymore because they all have kids. But the event itself has lost some of its pizzazz because it's just gotten very popular.
Yeah.
And it's a very full event. There's a lot of people there, and they're catering to a more diverse crowd. And I don't mean like racially or gendery. I just mean there's a lot more families, very casual
yeah.
gamers. It used to be kind of more of like a
Hardcore.
if you're hardcore
Yeah.
gamer. You're coming
Like
to Gen Con.
So they for 24 hours a day for the whole 4.5 days of duration of Gen Con, they're shooting off Magic draft tournaments as soon as they get 8 players. So if 100 people show up, they're just like, "Yep, go," and they're fine. So like
you can go get a
at
draft
3
at 4 a.m.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go
Wow.
play. It was great. I remember 2008 when what was the expansion to Ice Age?
Cold Snap.
Cold Snap.
Mm.
And if you remember Cold Snap,
Yes.
it was so good.
Jotun.
That's where I won so many boxes because all you did was draft Scred, and then all the Icelands or the Snowlands. But it was so much fun. Yeah, you go at any time.
That's the Arnold has gotten or was bad.
Yeah, right.
It used to be awesome. Like you'd go there now
And
you
it
can't even move.
became mainstream.
Well, and it just became something that they wanted to jam as many vendors as they could in.
Oh, yeah.
and did not care about the population of people increasing.
So does that make
And
us
even
hipsters?
move.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of funny because what had
It's too mainstream, guys.
yeah, well,
Too
it's
many people
funny
are into
that
it.
it's funny that you say that because Gen Con had grown significantly.
It's like 30,000 when I was.
it was. I think it's more than that.
Oh,
now.
now it's insane.
Now it's like-
30,000 like
Yeah.
mid 2000s, but now
Yeah, but it had started to attract a lot of other game adjacent things. So there was a lot more video games there, and they rolled it back. They said, we don't want that stuff.
Oh, recently or
No, but like in the mid 2000, like 2012, 13, 14, they really pulled back
because they had all kinds of video games, like all kinds.
Yeah,
of,
they really pulled back on the video game stuff because they said, you know what, we don't want all this video game stuff. We want to focus on traditional board, card, and role playing games.
It's a Geneva Convention.
It's the Geneva Convention, and then right around 2014 or so, it just got insane. The size of it.
Did it change ownership?
No,
It's
no.
still just Gen Con LLC.
It's owned
or
by
whatever?
Gen Con. So the guy who owns Gen Con LLC, Peter Adkinson, is the guy who created Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah,
Oh,
wait.
wow.
I didn't know that was Peter Atkinson that had it.
Yeah, so Peter Adkinson
shit.
created Wizards of the Coast. They created some garbage stuff, and then they worked with Richard Garfield and
Stumbled
made
upon Magic.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And then Peter Adkinson eventually sold his company to Hasbro.
Yep.
Took his bajillions of dollars, and then he went and bought Gen Con.
Wow.
Was it from?
He
was
bought
it owned by Gary Gygax or was it?
No, so Gen Con used to be owned by TSR. TSR.
Oh yeah.
That was his.
TSR was the original producer of Dungeons and Dragons. That was Gary Gygax's company.
Yeah.
Met when they had all their Magic the Gathering dollars in the late 90s. D&D was floundering. TSR was going bankrupt. Wizards of the Coast bought TSR.
Yep.
Which he founded Wizards of the Coast to make supplements, to make modules,
To play
make adventure.
while you're waiting in between D&D games.
Obviously,
right?
he made Wizards. He made his game. He made his company to make D&D stuff.
Mm.
Like we want to make some adventures and some source books and some information, and then that company ended up buying the game instead, because
That's funny.
and yeah. So when he originally, they were like, we want to make a game, and they went to Richard Garfield, this guy, and he said, let me pitch you a game. I have a game. It was called Robo Rally. I mean, it wasn't called that yet, but which he eventually made. It's kind of a fun game. And Robo Rally is a game. You got little miniatures. They run around. You're like robots in a machine, but it's like a rally.
Pre-programmed.
It's like a rally race.
They're set.
And they said, yeah, this is cool. But what we really want is something small, compact, portable, easy, quick, something that people can play like in hallways or in waiting rooms, like at Gen Con, while they're waiting between their D&D games. You know, so like, oh, my D&D game ran from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I had nothing for an hour.
I got nothing for an hour. I just want something quick, easy that I can just everyone can whip it out and play.
And
He goes, I think I got an idea. And then he went back and he had a game called The Five Magics.
Yeah.
And that's what got developed into Magic the Gathering.
Wow.
And it's like, obviously that's why like the theme is very similar with like goblins, orcs.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
And if my historical knowledge of this seems very impressive, it's because I've attended multiple seminars in which Peter Adkinson has explained the entire history of Wizards of the Coast and how
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyways,
thank you for the lesson.
Yeah. So anyways, but and then
So maybe a future Gen Con, Bob. We'll see you there.
Well, you know,
Hey, Ross was
I got
saying
lots of kids.
this year before COVID,
Oh,
he was,
before-
you know,
okay.
thinking about it.
I
So
did not know.
Well, you can always throw the invite out, and I'm at about a 5% chance of going.
That. Sure.
But there's never know.
it's the best 4 days in gaming.
And to not to mock you, but people like you do go now
Yeah.
with Stacy with the kids.
Oh yeah.
And so there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of like strollers, and there's a lot of like they call them spa events.
Where it's not really gaming.
No,
related
it's basically
material.
like significant other partnership
Yeah.
activity. Or
Here's what I
something.
do because I'm here with you.
Yeah, it's like stuff for the.
Oh, I'm gonna come ruin Gen Con with my family then.
sounds great.
Well, yeah, and so
Good luck getting a hotel.
right. Yeah,
That's been the biggest thing for me. Is,
Of course,
is
that's a
not
huge
getting
issue.
hotel.
Oh, you just gotta like find
Alright.
some friends that live out there. That's usually how I work.
well,
my way
no,
through.
that
If
wouldn't
you know
even be an
anyone in
option.
Indy,
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Because
if you knew someone in Indy.
we like to be within one block.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
convention center.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to be my hotel is 20-minute
So
drive
even if I
from
have
the
a buddy,
event.
I do have a buddy that lives in Indy, but he doesn't live next door to the convention center, so that's no good for me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good for me.
Yeah, not good.
I
for
like
me.
free stay.
No, the big convention center. It's huge. It's great, and there's like 4 hotels that are attached to it. You know, like walkways, and
That's
then
how
like
Detroit's is. I
as you
feel.
move out the radius, there are more hotels. But like,
Yeah, because Gen Con doesn't just use their entire convention center, which it does,
oh, and the fucking
take
Colts
over-
is it
and the Colts Stadium.
Yeah,
They take over.
There's games at the
all-
Colts
They
Stadium.
take over all the like ballrooms at every single hotel within like a 2-block radius.
oh, and every
Wow.
restaurant is doing like all of them do like Gen Con themed. Like here we have a special menu.
yeah, it's
for
a new menu. It's
and-
like orc burgers and troll
Yeah.
steaks.
Oh my god.
And hey,
that's
you want a table?
crazy.
It's going to be 2 hours
Yeah.
because it is jam packed
Yeah.
to the brim.
I mean, the
of
best
people.
example I can give is when we first went there. There was a little brewery restaurant
The
called the
Ram.
Ram.
Oh, I have fond memories of the Ram. I
Okay.
like the Ram.
And we used to go there.
had the bison
We used to go
burger.
there once a day, twice a day, because it was great. We found it and we loved it. I mean, it's not like
they had beer and
people knew. I mean, people knew it existed.
Right.
Cut to our last couple years of Gen Con, we don't even go to it because the wait every single night.
or
is
you send someone
2
there to
to
hey, we
3
have
hours.
we have a party of 8. Okay, it's going to be 3 hours. All right, well we'll just hopefully someone stands there for 3 hours and then we'll
Yeah. So the only thing they did that in the last couple of years that I did enjoy is they have like 24-hour, close to hundreds of food trucks.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And they have a whole road.
Well, that's smart on the food
They have
truck.
it- they have
people.
an
Oh yeah,
entire
I mean,
road.
both ways.
that's blocked off, and it's just the food trucks roll up in the morning. They're there all day, and then they roll out at like.
I mean,
like
during
10
Gen
PM.
Con, I don't know how Indy is in non-Gen Con, but during Gen Con, Indy is like New York City, but like it's the
But
same
everyone
thing.
you meet's a gamer.
Yeah, but everyone's a nerd.